Yeah, looks better. Bam. Okay, what else have we got on our notes? Create collectible customized objects, create collectible effects, create platform customizable object. Alright, what the hell? BP time platform 03? Okay. So, we've got all of our things. Where's 02? You know, like, we've caught chickens 1, 2, and 4. Where's number 3? So we've got this timed platform shenaniganry here. So the question is there anything here that we're looking at? So we've got this editor debug mesh, we've got our trigger sphere, our shroom platform, particle system. So let's see, do we ever use any of these? So it's like we grab our sphere collision components. We also grab our sphere collision components. We grab our particle systems and static mesh components, and we set our things properly. So do we ever actually use like the trigger sphere? Actually, it's going to be this editor debug mesh, this collision mesh is going to be what we want. So we delete you, and then compile. Are there any compile errors? No. Alright. So we do have time platforms, and they do exist in our sublevels, so I need to actually go edit this to be timed platform base. And then time platform 1 by 1. So we need to make a new blueprint class based off of BP timed platform base. I'm going to call this one BP timed platform 1 by 1. Looks like the only thing that's specific is our collision on this guy. So what we want to do is go to our time platform base. We want to, what does this room's got on it? Just auto activate needs to be false. So if we delete both of these guys, and then inside of our components we add a new static mesh component, and we set it to the plane. Alright, and then we want the collision for this to be, looks like terrain was what we set it to start with. And then we set it to custom, and then we wanted collision for query only, and we wanted everything to be overlap, except for environment hit, player hit, player attack, player projectile hit, player projectile attack, enemy hit, enemy attack, and then projectile attacks. So everything overlaps except for environment hits. Do we have environment attack anywhere? I guess not. Object type needs to be terrain. Alright. We also need to add a particle system. And that's going to be I guess shroom platform. And we'll have it scale to 1. Doesn't look like it actually matches up with the object though. And auto activate needs to be false. Hello, the Midnight Mage. Welcome. I'm just working on particle stuff. This doesn't really make sense. Do we have another platform particle system? I just see shroom platform and that's it, and it's a little bit too big. So, I don't know. Alright, so if we go to our levels, let's see. In our persistent level, we have these BP time platforms. And basically, none of these guys have got anything anymore because we're customizing them. So let's replace these actors with our BP time platform 1 by 1. Did I click the wrong thing? Yeah. Replace actors with BP time platform 1 by 1. So if we go to these guys, they should have the static mesh and the particle system. So if we hit play, it should look like what it was before. Yeah, they look like what they looked like before, but the issue is we're showing the actual thing, which the static mesh here should be hidden, should be not visible. So why don't we make them the same size as that particle system? So if we turn this on real quick, we should be able to see the objects, and then maybe this guy needs to be bigger. Does it need to be 10? like a 9 maybe. And yeah, the things that look nice are all made by Adam, not by me, so it's all him. It's starting to look better. So if we go to this guy and we want to not auto-activate this particle system. So we've got all these planes in the editor so we can see what we're looking at. And we've got these. Looks like these are a little bit bigger now. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to look at the other levels and make sure they actually work. But let's make a new actor based off of this guy. Let's make a new blueprint class. It's going to be based off of BP timed platform base. And it's going to be called BP timed platform 1x3. This is the other thing that I did. I think I set my time platform start at static mesh to have dirt material. Yeah, forgot to do that. All right, so we want a static mesh. And that static mesh should be this, what, wall jump plane 01? Okay. Did that get changed? So I wonder if this time platform 1x1, like this was a static mesh that was a plane, but did he change this one to wall jump plane? But it's not called, it's not a wall jump plane. Like, why would it be called wall jump plane? Like, what are these? I mean, there's nothing there, so I'll just leave it alone. But if it's not a wall jump plane, it has nothing to do with wall jumps. Why is it called? It's got wall jump in the name. All right, so 1x3. He's got 36.6. That's not a fucking 1x3. that's a 5x1. Yeah, it looks like it is a smaller platform. No, it's using... We're just using the editor plane. And this guy should be not visible. And we need to set its collision properly. Yeah, its collision's all screwed up in the one that got copied over. So this guy needs to be query only. It needs to be terrain. Then everything should be overlap, except for environment hit, player attack. And environment attack and enemy projectile attack. Alright, so this is a 1x5. So let's name it 1x5. And this particle system needs to be auto-activate false. It's also oriented the wrong direction. So we need to rotate this by 90 degrees. Alright, so the problem is we made this other one. The time platform 1x1 has got with the 9 for everything to fit the other guys. These guys need to be 9s. And what is 9 times 5? 45? That, of course, means our particle system is now the wrong scale. It's going to be too small. Well, that's fine. We're not using any of those platforms anywhere. So that's going to have to be what it is. So auto activate to false. Okay, so they appear to be working properly. And they appear to be the same size, which is what we need. And this BP timed platform thing, I think I'm just going to get rid of it because it's not worth anything. Goodbye. What is it being used by? SL Wall Jump 01. Yep, this is how it happens. This is how we break everything. So he went and replaced all these platforms already with the specific blueprint. Yeah, fuck. God damn it, this is gonna be more difficult as a result. Ah. All these are fucked. All of them are screwed. So made it the wrong scale. Well, I have another option. I go change this back to where the particle systems are wrong, but the collision is right, so all the levels are proper. So Adam can just go remake the fucking particle systems instead of remaking every level. It's probably the right way to do it. So these need to be 6, 6, and 30. And the other platforms need to be 6 all around. Alright, so the tower looks fine. Look at the wall jump, right? So the wall jump platforms look correct. And these guys are stacked up at their correct places as well. That's good. Just an angry person. Alright, so let's go unload all these so it forces a save. Alright, so we got that in there. So we need to go to the forest sublevels and make sure those are set up properly with the right platforms in. Alright, so what we want to see here is we want to go to the main menu, back to overcoming barriers, which is the big wall jumping section. Let's see what it looks like. Alright, well, it looks like it works. So that's really what matters. Alright. Alright, create platform, customizable levels. Switch all levels to use sub-levels for goals and such. Alright, I'm going to check all this work in first because I'm going to be modifying a lot of other crap. Actually, I want to delete the bad platform. I need to stop being so upset about everything. And let's also fix up this redirector. And make sure it does what it's supposed to. And then I think I'm gonna get up to episode 1000 on developing Brackensack here if I go over. What am I at right now? I'm at, in the playlist, I'm up to 993. So if I get into the 7th hour of streaming today, it'll be episode 1000. How crazy is that? There's a lot of damned episodes. Anyway, let's put this thing up. Yeah, you follow through parts of those. Yeah, even I'm having trouble with some of those. Well, it looks like the level's playable. So good. I'm gonna check all this stuff out. Alright, so all these change files are going to be fixed sublevels, fixed a few bugs with them, the collection, add warnings for the mission export. Alright, so we got customizable platforms, customizable collectibles. Okay, so I need to add, I'm going to add some warnings / errors to the editor for what we've got. So for the commands, which is where we've got this stuff. Gotta finish uploading though, I guess. So I'll just sit tight for a second. I need to add some errors. Actually, I can just go ahead and start writing this, can't I? Get over there. So validating the mission. So one of the things right now is we need to go through all the so it's going to be for every stage. Do we go through all the stages? So we have all the mission data in here. Mission stages for every stage if the map name is none. Alright, so if I need to actually pull up the data file so I can take a look at what objects I'm supposed to be iterating over. So it's going to be the game mode. And this is going to be the const game mode option. Let's see, option in stage game mode. So if this is an F game mode option. Where are you, game mode option? Good morning, Karakan. It is actually morning over here as well. So let's see what we got going on here. 3 a.m. or so. It is 1 in the morning, so close. But that would be more mid-Eastern time. What is Visual Studio now like doing some Yeah, it's auto formatting my fucking if statements for me now. When the hell did that happen? That is some bullshit. All right. Tools option, editor. Is it text editor? C++. Formatting. Automatically indent when I type tab. Automatically format block. Automatic format braces when they're automatically completed. I think they screwed up my settings. Alright, let's see. It's still doing it. God, that is so annoying. And yeah, one of the things that I hate is when editors assume you want code to look a certain way. That's so much better. Well, earlier I was working on. This is not option.type. This is option.value. Right now I'm adding some error checking to some of this stuff. Let's make sure this builds. Anyway, so the first thing I did was I made customizable platforms and customizable collectibles. So Adam could go make his water lolly collectible and then like actually customize a sub object of that. So it has like all the code exists inside of collectible base, and then there's collectible water lolly, and inside of that he's added a static mesh and then the water lolly material. So he can mess with whatever he wants to with that thing, and he doesn't have to like copy paste the whole asset, and it'll use the same code. So now we have two different collectibles, one which is a water lolly, one which is a ball, and they'll both act the same because they use that same base code. Same thing for platforms, so there's now different types of platforms, so we can go make and change the geometry of those, and then they'll just work. So that's cool. Fixing some of those sub-levels, like the Forest Run level, the collectible that you'd run under half the time is now a little bit lower. Things like that. Small fixes. I got your fix in there for the pit, so it's 5 instead of 10 goals, which is important because that level was impossible. Let me see, what is this? It should be an array of game mode options inside of stage.game mode. Yeah, it should be an array of F-game mode options. Why is this angry at me? This is an F-game stage. Stage.game mode should definitely be of this type. Yeah, so stage... I guess it can't be a constant reference is what we can't use. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so player overrides, and then bot overrides. So the platform can now be resized and you can make them pass-throughable where you want, something like that. Basically what it does for those platforms is we'll probably be using regularly sized platforms. Adam wants to make a kind of like a 1x1, a 1x3, a 1x5, that sort of thing. So they'll be easier to kind of construct things out of them. And keep the particle systems the same look, since particle systems don't look properly when they're scaled. All right, let's build that. So yeah, pretty much what you're talking about. You'd be able to make some that are by default you can pass through, and the idea basically that instead of making a whole bunch of one-off platforms, you can have shared logic in a single platform brain, and then all the platforms you make, you can kind of have them share the same base brain, and then they have their own little sub-brains. So that if I wanted all platforms to support some sort of like timed thing, I can do that. This thing is still fucking formatting these things for me. What in the hell is that about? I thought I disabled that. So automatically indent and format. Let's just say indent but do not format. Because I copy pasted this and then it formatted it. Alright, good. Just indent. It's probably because I re-signed in with my account and to sync my license for Visual Studio, and it got angry with me because I guess it just reset my settings, which is trash. I like it when editors do nothing more than what you'd expect. Like, you should have to go opt into all their little small things that they like. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be helpful. Be like, no, I don't want that. Which a lot of people do like, and they get used to it. The editor kind of helping them do all the typing and everything. But since I use so many different editors, and sometimes things work and some things don't, like if you have the training where you rely on the editor to do all these things for you, when you go to another editor, you're just lost. So I always train myself for the bare minimum. That way, no matter what I'm using, I am not just lost. Where's the multi-copy paste? Yeah. It is asking a lot, and that's why I'm complaining about it. It's easy to complain about things when they don't do them. Thinking of your colleagues. Man, you're already a salty veteran at work, aren't you? Just my coworkers are a bunch of numbskulls. I have to do everything for them. So let's do our export. There are 28 errors. That is exactly why I'm doing this. All stages must have valid game options. Check MS Solo 310. Alright. So what I should do is go to missions, and I should open up everything. So let's open up everything in a big grid editor. And then we can look at this guy. So MS Solo 3. Actually, I can just type these in here, can't I? Alright, so stage 1 needs to have valid game options. So let's see. Yeah, it's got a invalid game option there. MS Solo 1 must have non-blank game options. Must have valid and non-blank. Yeah, okay. Valid and non-blank for Solo 2. They're artists, you're an artisan. Yeah, I see what there is a difference. Alright, Solo 3-4 has got a bad game mode option. So clean that up. Solo 3-5 blank player option. The reason I'm adding these is because basically it looks like I added a whole bunch of kind of blank options, which they may not cause problems for what you're working on, but this is game options for 6. If it just makes you like you have to fix this, then you'll be like, oh, I totally added that thing that fixes the bot count, and then you're like, oh, but I forgot to set right bot count. I didn't do it. Alright, so it's valid, so 3-7 is screwed up. Looks like all the 3s for solos. Player overrides, game overrides. 3-8. Solo 9. So you're chomping at the bit for that published level editor. Well, actually, Adam and I were talking earlier today about better tools for people who want to go change stuff that may or may not be named Caracan. Alright, so this is Team 1 and Team 1, 2, 4, and 5. Okay. One, was it 2 and then 4 and 5? Alright, so Team 1 has got player overrides looking bad. Yeah, okay, good. 3, 1, 2. This guy's blank. Alright, let's save everything. Check it out. Let's clear our output log and export again. 6 errors. So Team 3-5 is wrong. Three 5, Solo 3-4, Solo 3-2. So Team 3-5, we've got player overrides is none. As long as I have you step through things. Yeah, well, there's a couple ways we could try to make things easier for people to, like if we wanted people in the community to be able to make levels, The data format for levels being JSON, like I could totally, people could give me JSON files, you know, like post them on the forums or something like that. Here's missions file in a zip folder, you know, like here, please download this and test it out. The problem with that is it doesn't allow sub-level creation. So you'd be able to make new rules for an existing mission, but you wouldn't be able to actually create a new level and, you know, assets for that level or anything like that. So was it solo 4 and 2 player options? Alright, so player options, get rid of you and get rid of you. But for us to ship the editor basically would be a big thing, because with the editor you can just steal the whole game. You can't steal the server, of course, and you don't have the C++ code that backs it, but you would be able to steal pretty much the whole game if you were a bad actor. So it's not really a good idea for us to do that. We could make a stripped down version of the game, which allows you to make assets and stuff like that, but that would require a significant amount of work from our point of view, right? Because we'd have to make assets. We'd have to make a separate kind of shippable version of the game, which allows you to test stuff but doesn't have everything else, and we'd have to be real careful. Another thing is we could build a plugin which goes into Unreal Engine, which has all of our code in it, and it'd be like, well, go get 4.1, you know, 4.16 of Unreal Engine and load this plugin, and then you can make your own assets. And we'll see. SimCity terrain editor. Yeah, that would be out of scope completely. Because of how Unreal works. So we've got the warnings fixed. Warnings for missions. So pretty much for now, I think we'll just deal with, like, if people want to make missions, we have the JSON data file format. If I went and edited the wiki and added more complex instructions, because there's a lot of examples of what the missions are look like. They're all the JSON files there, and then people can just send zipped files. And but the question would be more of kind of more individuals like you, Karakan, who are more invested in the success of Brackenwood, and if we gave certain people, you know, a snapshot of the editor, it wouldn't be all over BitTorrent in 5 minutes or something like that, right? So there's definitely a, well, we could trust certain people, you know, and give them more of the keys to things. Because that's definitely is. If we ever stopped work on Brackenwood, I'd be totally comfortable with shipping the editor